Good morning, friends. Little driveway devotional this morning. Really looking forward to the podcast that we're going to record this morning with Jim Hobbs and Alec Martin and Christopher Hubner, and probably these three dogs behind me as well. But the Father has me on an interesting lesson plan these days. Yesterday morning it was about where your robe gets washed in the blood of the Lamb, if the Lamb was slain before the foundation of the earth. And then he led me into the Prodigal Son story. That we all know, kinda. But I think a couple things that take us a while to see and hear about the Prodigal Son story is that, a lot of us think that at one time we did something and God got mad at us and we were separated from him because of that. And then we had to say a magic prayer or do a magic thing or something to reconcile that relationship. But what's great about the Prodigal Son story is the father was never mad in that story. He was upset that his son had chosen to leave. And in that way, the son was dead to him because, and this is a lot culturally about that time and those people, that they lived together, families lived together. But what the prodigal son did was, when he realized his error of thinking, that it would be better for him to go off and be on his own. It would be better for him to follow these thoughts, the thought pattern that had developed in his mind. He asked his father for his inheritance, that he wanted to go off and chase these thought patterns. And when he realized that the thought patterns were error, he knew what he had to do. He knew he had to return home. Not only that, because his thought patterns were telling him that if he went off and did his own thing, he was going to be this big superstar. We all don't do egoic things like that, right? But he said to himself, it'd be better to go back home and be a servant in my father's house than to be the slave to my ego here. And he returned home. Without any expectations of regaining any kind of stature in his father's house or anything other than to be in the presence of his father. But what he didn't do, I think, is what's most important. He didn't, upon realizing the errors of his dialectic thinking, as it says in Colossians 1, he didn't pick himself up out of the pig trough, put a new set of clothes on, clean set of clothes on. He didn't build a structure in honor of his father and create some kind of thought pattern or religion away from his father to honor his father and the memory of his father and call that a relationship with his father. He didn't do that. What he did do is return home to his father. Jesus said, if you want to see the kingdom of your father, you got to return home from before the beginning. It's there that you'll get your new robe, washed in the blood of the Lamb, and life, real life. You won't be dead anymore. You'll live life and life more abundantly. As Jesus told the scribe, do this and you will live. Just a reminder that myself, Jim Hobbs, Alec Martin, and Christopher Huebner are doing a podcast this morning. If you want to watch while we're doing it, it's 8:30 Eastern time. Send me a private message and I'll send you a link, the Zoom link, where you can watch us, but it'll be a discussion between us four about this subject and much, much more. I pray that you all return home every day. Seek the Father. The Aramaic word for repentance means to turn inward, to seek. I pray that you do that. Your secret place. Become free of self, space, and time, and see if the Father doesn't put a new robe on you and a nice, shiny new pair of shoes to run in. I love you all. Have a great day.